Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial, and on this tutorial I'm going to go over how to create this Twitch API app, and it's basically how to view the top games, the top streamers, the top streamers for a specific game, and actually view the stream on the app as well using Vue routers. So if you go to the home page, we can see the games, and if we scroll down, more games load up, and we can see more games constantly coming down. And then we can go to each individual game, and each individual streams come up. These blue screens aren't bugs. They are actually blue on the actual Twitch TV website. I'm not sure why, but I think the Twitch servers are going down a little bit. And you can constantly go down. And then you can go to top streamers, and you can sort by view count, and then you can go to each individual stream. So that's that, and in each individual stream you can see the view count, the streamer's name, and the title of the stream, and then you can see the chat embedded on the right as well. And also you can change the browser size, and the image gallery is responsive. Same for the streamers, it's all responsive, so that's all good. For top games, streams and top games are all responsive. So we're going to learn how to do that too, all using CSS and Vue.js. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to create a new folder. New folder, practice 8. And then I'm going to Vue, create app 2. I think that's right. So please pick a preset. Default. We can use V3, but it doesn't allow the use of Vue.js DevTools, which is this thing right here. Vue.js is not detected. If we use V3 preview right now as of September 2020, the Vue DevTools does not work, so we're going to stick with the Vue 2. And we're going to wait for this to load up. Okay, so Vue.js all loaded up, so we're going to cd into it. We're going to just open the folder, practice 8, app 2. And we're going to do npm run serve. Then we're going to go to localhost 8080. And we have our initial Vue.js setup. So the first thing to do, if I got it right, is to go to terminal, and then we're going to install Vue Router. If we install Vue Router later, it overrides the app.vue file, so it's better to do this at the start. So I'm going to create a new terminal and type in, let's go to install Vue.js Router. Installation. So I'm going to do Vue CLI, Vue add router. Enter. I was using a npm install Vue Router, but it wasn't working for some reason, so I just stuck with Vue CLI. Not sure why, but maybe it's to do with me creating the whole folder with Vue CLI to begin with. So maybe that's why. I'm not too sure. Use history mode, yes. So you can look that up more if you're interested in why it works or doesn't work, but for this tutorial, it doesn't matter too much. So we have app Vue, and if we exit out of this, we have the router folder and the Vue views folder. So if we go back to our app, we have home and about at the top. So about and home. We don't need any of these, so we're going to delete both of them. Delete. And in app.view, we're going to delete this since we don't need this. Let's see. Module build failed, about view not present. If we go to index.com, index.js, we don't need this. We don't need the view home. And we're going to change this to get top games. Component is going to be get top games, and we're going to import get top games from Vue views and get top games.vue. And then we're going to go to the views folder and we're going to create a new file called gettopgames.vue. And here we're going to write template, then script, and then style for code. Remove that. Script export default. Let's see, get top games, export default. Name is going to be get top games. And I think that's it. And we have to create one element here. We're going to say get top games container. Going to use the ID tag since we only have one element that's needed there. And we're going to type in hello games. It should appear here. Let's see, hello games. Console log, template, render function not defined. App view. Wait, index, get top games. Get top games. Okay, so the reason why that was not working was because my npm, my terminal was not working correctly. But if we just refresh the page, refresh. What I did was canceled out the terminal, and then I just went npm run serve again. It works again. And then just refresh the page, and we have hello games. So we're going to first just say, instead of hello games, we're going to say list of top games. And then we're going to create a top navbar link. First, we're going to go to index. Wait, not index. We're going to stay here, and we're going to do an import. Get top games. Import top navbar links from components top navbar links. And for the views, for the router views, we're going to create it in the Vue folder, but the components for the for components that we're going to use in more than once in other components as other Vue components as well, we're going to stick it in the components folder, subfolder here. So we're going to first go here and say components that we're going to use is equal to top navbar links. Then in the components folder, we're going to create a new file called top navbar links.vue. And create a template. Script. And style. Export default. Name top nav bar links. And here we're going to say top nav bar links container. Links go here. Error top nav bar links components has been registered but not used. So we go back to top games, and here we're going to say top nav bar links and make that into a bracket, tag, and links go here. So we're going to go back to links, and instead of typing links go here, we're going to write router link, and it's going to say get top games. Then another one that says get top streamers. And it's going to link to home page or main root directory. And then here's going to say get top streamers. Okay, so we're gonna just add a divider right there, and we're going to style it, give it nav top nav bar links container, and we're gonna say margin bottom of 10 pixels. And give it a nav link, a font size of 25 pixels, and a padding of 10 pixels. Not sure why that's not working right now. Let's just double check this. Inspect element. Oh, we have to create that into an ID. That should work. So we can go to get top games or get top streamers. Get top streamers is empty. So let's create let's create a get top streamers page. So go to index, and here under path, we're going to create another one. So this is all Vue routers here. Okay, so I'm going to create path, get top streamers, and name is going to be get top streamers, and component is going to be get top streamers. And we're going to create that at the top, import from views get top streamers.vue, and under views we're going to create a new file called get top streamers.vue. Then here we're going to create a template the same as the other one, so I might as well just copy and paste from here and move all this. Actually change that to list of top streamers and top streamers container. If we go to that page, it says list of top streamers and then list of top games. So we're going to go back to the get top games page, and we're going to load up all the games from the Twitch API. So we're going to go to Twitch devs, Twitch developer homepage, and I already logged in, but once you logged in, you can go to your console, and under applications, I'm going to register a new Vue application and call it tutorial 3 Vue.js browsing app 3. And here we're just going to use localhost. And under category, we're going to say website integration. I'm not a robot. Then create. So if we go to manager, we have the client ID. We're going to use this to get the client secret. We're going to use this to get the authorization ID. So to do that, I'm going to go to a forum post that I made that has some of the instructions. And so to go there, I'm going to go to this page. And here we're going to okay, so this is the forum page that I was mentioning, and here we're going to go to the get tokens OAuth instructions page. And then I think it was, yeah, it was this one. No, I think it was the other one. Simplicity code flow. Okay, this is the example here. And we only need this part. I'm just gonna copy and paste that here. So we have to go to copy and paste that here, and we're gonna go to this website actually. Copy and paste this, and under scope, we're going to use viewing activity read. For some reason that makes this work. You can view the forum post more in depth if you want to take a look at why it's working or not. Then under client ID, we're going to copy and paste it from our our Twitch dev console. Copy and paste that there. Redirect to our URI, which is http localhost, response type code. So we're gonna combine this all together. And combine this at the top as well. And then we're going to use this URL and we're going to go to the page. And then I already logged in. This is my Twitch normal username. And then once you go to this page, it says authorize here. So click on authorize. It's going to take a few seconds and we get this back. So I'm just going to copy and paste that here. So from here, this code is what we need. This response code, that's the authorization code. Because if we go to twitch.dev authorization, when we actually I think Twitch devs, go to dev home, docs, new Twitch API, and then reference. So let's say we're going to get top games. This requires the client ID and it requires the authorization code as well. So it doesn't show here, but we do need to get the authorization code as well. Let's see, authorization. So something like this, get games. We have to do a client, we have to submit the client ID in the header. Then we have to create the authorization and type in bearer and the token we just got. Plus, yeah, the client ID and the authorization code. Those are the two things that we need. So here we got the authorization code. That's what this is. So I'm just gonna paste that in here somewhere. Just gonna do. We're going to use this in the methods section. So I'm just gonna put that in there and say authorization code or OAuth code, which is what it is. And then we're going to go back to our application. And we're going to create a array called, we're going to create a data containing the array. So function turn list of top games, and we're going to create an array, empty array. So we're going to put all the game information into this array so we can list them down once we receive them from the Twitch API. And under methods, we're going to create a method called fetch top games. So function is going to be equal to we're going to insert something called pagination here later. That's for when we get the first 20 games, then in order to get the next 20 to number 20 to number 40 games, and then number 40 to number 60 games, we need something called pagination from the Twitch API. We're going to add that in later. For now, we're going to just say we're going to use the fetch JavaScript statement, and here we're just going to type in something called fetch link. And if we go back to the twitch.dev section, we're just going to go back to docs and new Twitch API. Is this the right one? Yeah, new Twitch API, and then reference. Get games, I think. Get top games, that's what I want. Get top games, yeah. Get top games. So this is the file extension that we need, and then this is the query optional parameters that we can use. And after is where we need the pagination response. We're going to do that later, but first we're going to just use this one first. 20 instead of 20, we're going to use 30 so that it actually fills up the entire screen when it first loads, so you don't see empty spots when you first load the page, because we're going to display more than 20 in the front page. So we're going to get that link. I'm going gonna get this link, and it's a get method. And we're gonna paste that in here, and we're gonna say first 30. Go down, and we're gonna do a fetch statement. Then we're gonna say fetch link here. Method is going to be get. Headers is going to be new headers. And here's going to be where we put the authorization code. Authorization bearer, and we're going to insert this right here. So we don't need this anymore. Delete that. Then client ID. This is what we had in our dev page, Twitch devs. Go to my console, application. I think it was this one, manage, and get the client ID here. Put that in quotations as a string. And then we're going to say function, and then change the response to a JSON format, so return response.json. Then we can do data here. We're going to do data. We're going to use the arrow function, and the reason we use the arrow function is because we're going to use this statement inside this function here, and the only way to allow this statement to be recognized inside the fetch statement is by using a arrow function here instead of a normal function, so that's why we're using an arrow function. So we can do console log data. So this is the variable that's passed in, and then we can console log it here. So if we go back to our app, hopefully there is an error. Then we just have to enter a comma there. And if we go to console log, oh, we have to actually run the function. So after methods, after here, we're going to do mounted this function. So if we go back, console log, we have an error, unauthorized, invalid OAuth token. Let's see, we can do okay, so on the remember the Twitch docs page that we went to, we have to go to OAuth implicit code flow, and we have to copy this. This is what we need, and we're going to paste that here. I think and we don't need the state, so remove that. So we're gonna use this. We're gonna create a new tab here, and we're gonna go back to our client ID, get that, and put that right here. And localhost, and then scope is viewing activity read. So copy and paste this into our page. And now if we do it again, since we already did it, it's gonna skip the authorization page that we saw before. And we just need this token here. So copy and paste that token. Paste that right there. And now if you go back to the page, inspect console log, yes, we get the array. So I think the reason I think I had to do that again was because the Twitch dev had to update the client ID again after we created the app. So I think the order in which I created the app first and then got the OAuth token is, I think, something to do with that. But if it doesn't work, just do it again, and I'm sure it will work after a while. So if we take a look at this data array, we can see if we open one of these up, we have box URL. Let's see, I think we should have more data than that. Let's go to this one. Oh yeah, this one right here. Let's see, why is it just not showing just that? I think let's just check our code. Twitch games top 30. And refresh. We get 30, that's correct. So it has the ID, name, box art URL. It should have all that, but it's only showing name, ID, and box art URL. Oh, right, that is right. That is right. So we have the game name, League of Legends, for example, the ID of the game, and then the box art URL. So that's all we need. So this is correct. So then in our JSON, in our then statement, we can we're going to do let data. We're going to create a variable, data list of top games. It's going to be empty array. Then for every var key in data.data. So what that is if we go back to here, we have data here, and then data again here, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 29. So those are the 30 keys. We're going to start from 0. So that's the key here. And then we can do data list of top games, the variable we just created, and then we're going to do push or add into this new array that we just created. Game ID is going to be equal to data key ID. Then 2 more times. It's going to be game name. This is going to be game box art URL. Then here we're going to do name, which is, if we get back here, we have the box art URL, ID, and name. So we already used the ID, we just typed in the name, and then we're going to do box art URL next. Box art URL. And then here we have, if we take a look at one of them again, we have box art URL. The width and the height is not defined. It's just in brackets. So we have to change that into actual numbers that we want to get the correct URL thumbnail size. So we're going to, in this URL, we're going to replace, we're going to do it twice, one for the width, one for the height. So we're going to do width is going to be changed to 213. Then I'm going to do replace one more time, and then height is going to be replaced to 285. And then after this for loop, we're going to go to this, and we're going to reference the data attribute that we created here. So we're going to list the top games here. We're going to go with this list of top games. And we want to keep all the previous games that we already uploaded, and then we're going to get the next 20, the next 40, the next 60 to 80, the next 80 to 100, etc., etc. So we're going to do all the previous, what's pre-existing inside here. So list of top games. And then we're going to add on to that data list of top games. So in the beginning, there's going to be nothing there. So the first 20 is going to be in. So the first 30 is going to be inserted there, and then next after that, it's going to be the next 30, the next 30, the next 30, etc. So let's see if we have any errors. Don't have any errors. So let's go to the top, and here we're going to do ID top games. Then top game is going to be each individual game, and we're going to use a v-for loop here. So v-for is equal to top game and list of top games. That's the array right there. And we need a key, right? So because it says here we need a vbind key directive. We're going to do key top game.game ID. And we're going to do, we can just do game name here just to show you how it looks like. Top game name, like that. If we do that, all the names of the games come up. We don't want to do this right now, so we're going to delete that. And we want to create a top game thumbnail container div. Then we want to do image, and then under source we're going to vbind that and do back quotes and top game dot game box art URL. So that should work. And we want to create a class called top game thumbnail. See, I'm not sure why it's not popping up. It should pop up. Console log. Right. See here, it's refreshing slowly. That means the npm terminal is not working again, so the terminal is stuck. I'm not sure what, this is what happened earlier as well. I'm not sure why this is happening, but the solution is just to exit it and then do npm run serve again. It should work. Then refresh the page. Okay, so it's going to go to 81. Okay. So it's going to 81 right, 8081 right there. So if we can go down and see all these like this. And next we're going to insert the game descriptions before we do the responsive gallery stuff in the CSS. So we're going to create another div. Here it's going to get called a top game description. And then here we're going to say top game name. Top game name. And there you go. We have the game names right there. Okay, so we have the top game name here, and then now we're going to go down to the CSS and make the responsiveness happen. So down here, we're going to say get top game container, I think. That's all correct. So here we're going to say top game container. See, 1 second. We want top games here. That's what we want. Then we're going to use display flex, and that's going to make everyone go to the right, so we can all see it in one row. Want to do flex wrap, then wrap. That all makes it go down, but there is some responsiveness, but the image size don't change. So in order to do that, we're going to go back up. I think it was, so the image height and width, how it responds is that if the aspect ratio remains the same, if the width changes, the height changes as well. So, or if the width changes, the height changes as well. So if we're going to make the image element full width of this this container div, and then this container div is going to have a flex basis that's going to depend on the size of the browser width that we're going to use media queries to create in a second, and that's going to automatically change the width and height aspect ratio a little bit. So if we go back to twitch.tv, we go to browse, they have that thing where the image size changes a little bit by a little bit, up and down. So that's what we're going to do right here. So we're going to go, let's see, we're going to use this, and we're going to do, no, I think we have to do without the container. The image width is going to be 100%, and the container, I think, is going to have a flex basis of 100%. No, I don't think that's right. The flex basis has to go to the top games, this one. That's going to have a flex basis of 100%. Do that, now it should work. So no matter how small or big it gets, the flex basis is always 100%. And now is where the media queries come in. So we're going to do media only screen, and we're going to start off with min width of 350 pixels, and that's going to be top game flex basis going to be 50%. So now no matter how big we go, it's always 50%. So we're going to do that a few more times. So we're going to do one for 650, one for 950, and one for 1250, whoops, and one for 1550, and just one more for good measure, we're going to do 1850. So now when it's bigger than 20, when it's wider than 20 wider than 650 pixels, we're going to do instead of 50 is 1 over half, like 1 over 2, that's what it is. So here I'm going to do 1 over 3, right? 1 over 3, that's going to be 33.333%. So do that. So now if we increase the size here, it's going to be 1/3. And then we want to do 25 for 1/4. And then we want to do 20%. So if we take a look now, if we increase a little bit more, there you go. Goes up to 1/5. And then 1/6 is another weird number. So 1 divided by 6, it's 16.6666%. So we're going to do 16.6%. And then we're going to do 1 divided by 7, which is another weird number. So we're going to copy that, paste it right here, and then put a dot. And now everything should work. So up until we get 1/7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's how you do the responsiveness, where the width and the height of the images changes a little bit. Now we're gonna just add a little bit of padding and margin. So here at top game, we're gonna do padding of 7 pixels. Not sure why that's doing that. Let's see if I get rid of this. Oh yeah, right. So I'm going to do another thing. I'm going to go to app.vue. I'm going to add a main CSS file so that we can do a CSS reset. So we're here in app.vue, we're going to do import, and then we're going to do assets, styles, main.css, and we're going to create this file. I'm going to go to assets, create a folder called styles, and then create a file called main.css. And here we're going to do everything. Margin is going to be 0, padding is going to be 0, and border box is going to be, oh wait, box sizing. I think box sizing is going to be border box. And we have an error here, so we don't need that, I guess. There, I think that's working now. Okay, now we can go back to get top games, and here we're going to create a padding of 7 pixels. So now if we go wide and left, it doesn't matter, it's always fixing correctly, and then we're going to do the margin bottom of, I think, 7 pixels as well. Just double checking that, yeah, 7 pixels, okay. So now we have all the top games, and at the top we actually had to change it into a link, which I did not do. We're going to do top games, and then under top game, let's see, top game, yeah, we're going to do link right here. We're not going to do anything with the link yet, but we just need to create it as a link so it's clickable. Copy and paste that. Okay, so now it's all clickable. And it just goes back to the home page. So now we're going to do the same thing for get top streams. It's slightly easier now that we're doing it again. So we're going to go to topstreams.vue. And we're going to go to methods. Or we're going to do data first, actually. We're going to do data function return list of top streamers. You get the gist. We already did this for the games. Now we're going to do it for the streamers. Then we're going to create a method or methods. And we're going to create a function called fetch top streamers. And function is going to be empty, no variable right now, but once again, we're going to create a pagination variable later. Then let fetch link is going to be equal to, and this one is going to be if you can go back to this Twitch dev docs, but I'm just going to paste the link that we need right here. It's going to be api.twitch.tv helix for version 5 of the API, and then streams instead of top games. And first 30, that's what we need. And then we're going to do a fetch query again. Fetch, then, whoops. Then twice. So fetch link, we're gonna do here. Let's see, is this right? Yeah, it's right. This has to be indented once. Here we're going to use fetch link. Then we're going to do method. Again, it's going to be get, then headers, new headers. We're going to copy and paste it from the get top games section. Just need this part right here. So here we're just going to copy and paste that in. Remember it's a bearer and then the OAuth token and then the client ID. Then here we're just going to do function response. So the response is going to be changed into a JSON format. And then if we do another arrow function here so that we can use the this statement, console log data response console log. Just gonna do mounted and then we're gonna run this. Now we get a data of the streams. So let's say we have the game ID, the ID of the stream, stream thumbnail URL, which is again width and height we have to customize, and then the title of the stream, user ID, username, and view count of the stream. There's also language, but we're not going to use that. And then we're going to instead of doing console log data, we're going to actually use this data. So we're going to create a new array. Okay, we have the data list of top streamers array. Then for each key in data, we're going to do it again, just like we did in top games. Here we're going to say var key in data. We're going to do this array push, or insert into the array one by one. ID is going to be equal to data.data/key.id. Just going to copy and paste that a few times. And we're going to do user ID, username, game ID, stream title, viewer count, and thumbnail URL. So it's going to be user ID here, username, game ID, title, your account, and thumbnail URL. So if we look at it from here, I'm not sure why it's not appearing. Get top streamers. Oh yeah, we deleted we commented out the console log. So if we have everything open, we have the game ID, user ID, username, title, viewer account, and thumbnail URL. And once again, the thumbnail URL has a width and height of this. So we're going to change that to replace. So I already went in through the CSS and just kind of got the rough image size that I need. So we're gonna replace the width first with the brackets, width, then 440, then replace one more time for the height. Height is gonna be 248. So now we can use this data at the top. Actually, we have to insert it in the array first. So after the for loop, we're gonna do this and copy and paste our array at the top. And once again, we're gonna copy everything that we had already inside. At the start, it's going to be nothing, but then afterwards, it's going to have some more data in it. So we want to keep that data and then add on to it what we just got from the for loop array. So this array is going to be filled. So we're going to just copy and paste that here, and that's going to fill up the data. Okay, so this video is getting over 45 minutes long, so I'm going to just continue the next part in part 2, so be ready for that. I'll put a link down in the playlist. So I'll see you in the next video.